our first in-studio guest of the day. Here he comes, the man they call Boom, Brian Kelleher in the house. Yes, there he is. What's up, Brian? How are you?
I know you don't like those germs.
See, that's why I love you, Brian. You pay attention, my man. Wow, well, you came with gifts.
I came with a gift for you.
Wow, look at this.
A
boom hat.
Yeah.
Is this your own?
Yes, it's my own, yep.
Let me try this on.
That's my logo right there.
Really big head, but how does it look?
Yeah, you might have to fit it to your head. It looks good.
Dare I say it's never looked better. My head, that is. That's great. Thank you very much for that. And what's that?
Yeah, this is some CBD oil that I have for. This is a sponsor called the Terp House.
Okay.
And this is just my supplement company, not mine, but my sponsor, the supplement company.
All right, I like it.
Yeah. So
what's the CBD stuff do?
The CBD has like many different benefits for like, CTE, anxiety, inflammation, stuff like that. There's a lot of different benefits to it. It's just coming out. These guys actually were like trying to, do a show at some point and try to push their product and talk about CBD further,
Wow. And how do you like consume that? It's like a little droplet.
This is like a tincture. Yeah, you just do like 1 milliliter and you just drop it under your tongue and that's it. And they have like lotions and stuff like that too. And I put lotion on like my knee or like if something's hurt, you just.
How often do you put it on?
Lotion I only use if something's sore, but this I use every day, twice a day, pretty much, like morning and night.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, like when you wake up, you put it in. How do you feel? You get high?
No.
Okay.
There's no high. Like there's no marijuana in this. Like it's the hemp plant, but it's the non-psychoactive. So it's just like it just has all the benefits that the marijuana plant has, but you don't get high.
Okay. I'm a little naive when it comes to all this stuff. I don't really partake. You know, are you a marijuana smoker?
Here and there I would, you know what I mean?
You see the benefits.
I used to back in the day a lot more, but then, it led to like some kind of like paranoia, anxiety type shit. So
really?
Yeah, I was like, I don't want to, keep doing this. I want to clear my head. And like that was before I was in the UFC and like maybe like 6-7 months before I just cut it out.
Okay, so you started to think like people were watching you, or
not even that. Just like you lose your mind. Literally, it just kind of races. Racy thoughts. And I'm an overthinker, and to begin with. So it would enhance that pretty much. And some days it wouldn't, some days it would.
Wow.
So it's unpredictable.
And this stuff is cleared by USADA. All good.
Yeah, this is cleared by USADA, but starting now, 2018, I believe they just took it off the ban list.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. That's huge.
Yeah. So a lot of fighters are using this stuff.
So this will be your first time fighting using this stuff.
Yeah.
Because you're good to go.
Yeah. Now I can use it fight day and there's no issues.
And what a fight it is.
Yeah.
Renan freaking Barao, man.
That was crazy.
This is nuts.
Yeah.
This is a big deal.
Yeah.
What was your reaction when you got the call?
I was really pushing for that Rivera fight. I'm one of those guys that's just always training, staying ready. My weight's never too far off. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to jump at any opportunities. I fought him in the past, in Bellator. And, it was a close fight, competitive fight. We both got a lot better. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to throw my name out there. And, it was close, but the UFC didn't, seem to want it. So I was like, you know what? We'll see what they offer me next. I think that they like me, you know what I mean? They like that I'm that kind of guy that's willing to do that. So my manager calls me. I'm at the gym, and he's like, I like the offer. He's like, they got you Renan Barao. And I'm like, yeah, of course. Like, this is what I'm here for. I was like, number 10. I'm gonna fight this guy and make my way up in the ranks. So I was really excited.
Were you surprised that they gave you Barao? Like, were you expecting someone like him?
It was, I go through the list, I look at guys. I honestly thought like Pedro Munoz was gonna be someone because he fought Damian last and beat him, and then I fought and beat him. So I was like, maybe they'll match us up. But then I thought of Barao. I'm like, you know what? Barao's coming off some losses and he's moving back down.
Yep.
And I was like, he's training an American top team now, I see and stuff. And I said, you know what? He's probably a guy that wants to get back in there too. And I guess they want to, give a new guy that's up and coming a good chance, which I really appreciate.
What do you make of Renan Barao right now? It's kind of hard to
tough.
like really gauge where he's at in his career, right? Because he went to 145, now he's back down. As you said, he changed teams.
Yeah.
What's your sense on where he's at?
It's like I never want to overlook like his last fight against Aljo I saw, and he just looked off in that fight. It just looked like he was hesitant. Not the same Barao, But I'm going in thinking it's the same Barao as old. He's at American top team. Maybe he's making changes. You never know what to expect, but I believe in myself, and I came here to fight the best, so this is my chance to prove my worth.
So when you say that you watched him against Aljo, he was a bit off. Like, what do you mean by that? What kind of off?
Like, when I seen him fighting Uriah Faber and those guys, I see a more aggressive guy that, like, really wants to take your head off, and I'm expecting that guy. But when I seen him fight Aljo, which Aljo's a tough guy to fight, he's very elusive and tricky, and I think it threw Barao off. But I just see a guy that he's like a little bit lazy in there. You know, he's not really trying to finish the fight. He's getting out-positioned, and it looks like he kind of breaks towards the end of the fight. You know, at like late second round, he starts to fade, and he starts to lose his cardio, and I think that's something I can definitely take advantage of.
Wow. There are some people who throw, like a couple of weeks ago, we had someone on the show, like, Jeremy Stevens, who was talking about Aldo. You know, USADA got to him.
Yeah.
People have said this about Barao.
Yeah.
Do you believe that?
I can never throw accusations out there. You know, I don't know for sure, but you see changes in his body for sure from the, you know, the older days without USADA, and his performances too. But you know, who's to say? You know, you really don't know what he was doing or what he was taking. But a lot of people do say that those guys were taking some stuff.
That's right. So did you feel like you're catching him on the way down?
It seems like that, yeah. I would say he's more so on a decline, and you know, I'm more on an up climb. So I think it's a perfect matchup right now.
So you're here first time on the set of the MMA Hour.
Yeah, it's crazy right now.
You've been watching?
I might be more nervous than my fights.
Just get out of here. Crazy. Did you see New York Rick?
I saw New York Rick.
What'd you say to him? First time you met him in person?
Boom hat. I got him a boom hat.
Nice. Well, he didn't have to do that. He didn't give you anything.
No.
He spit on you when you tried to go to UFC 205.
I know, but you know what it was? It was crazy. Like, I remember I was a big fan of the show for years, you know, and I would watch the show and kind of get like envious that like seeing people on the show like trying to manifest, like, I'm going to be here one day. Like, I know it. I'm going to get there one day. But I was, you know, fighting in the regional scene, and I was on a good win streak, and I was taking any fights I could. Like, I wanted the best guys. You know, I fought Julio Arce was my last two fights that I won before.
In UFC this weekend.
And, he's fighting this weekend, which, you know, I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be a good fight. And, I was just like, you know, one day I'm going to be there. And then I met you in at 209 at McGregor Diaz 2. Was that 209 or no?
202.
202. I met you there.
Really?
And, yeah.
You were in Vegas?
You probably don't remember. I was in Vegas, yeah.
Wow.
And I met you at weigh-ins. I was like a fanboy. I was looking for you. I was like, where's Ariel? Is that
wow.
Yeah, I saw Sean Al-Shadi, and he
That's hilarious. I have no recollection of this.
Yeah, I have a picture of us from that day. And then, like, I was like, just, you know, starstruck. Like, I've been a fan and everything, but I knew I was going to be here one day. I'd been like, you know, just manifesting this for years. And then now here I am. It's just crazy, like just feeling myself here, you know?
That's awesome. Well, I'm happy you're here. Why did you go to 202?
I went with my brother. My birthday is August 19th, so it was like a birthday thing. Me and my brother who's here with me, we took a trip out there, and we just as a fan,
Was that your first UFC event?
No, it was my second or third. But what was funny, like when I went there, like I went down at the bottom, you know, where like Shelby and Dana walk out, and like I was like hounding them. I was like, listen, I was like, you got to sign me. I was like, look, I had my knockout on Dana's show.
Oh yeah, this is like, after.
I'm ready. Yeah, this was after. I was like, I'm ready. Please sign me. Like me and Sean Shelby had a conversation, but he kind of was like, I get this all the time. You know? Like so many fighters want to be here, of course. So I'm like, I don't think that worked. You know.
Wow.
Like,
so this is during the event?
Yeah, during the event.
You went all the way down there.
I went all the way down.
No one stopped you?
No one stopped me. We got there like early.
Okay.
We just went all the way down, and I was like just waiting for him and Dana to like, you know, make my case like to be in the UFC, because I was on 6 or 7 fight win streak at the time, and I was like, man, like, how have they not signed me yet? Beating the guys I beat lately, I'm like, these are guys who are talked about to be next, you know? So I was like, I got to be next.
And did you feel kind of bummed that they sort of shooed you away?
Yeah, I felt like, you know what? Either way, it was a win-win. Like, I put myself out there. Like, now I'm in their heads a little bit. But realistically, it's up to the management. You know, my management team, Sucker Punch Entertainment, like, they did a great job of pushing me. And that's when I got that short notice fight against Yuri, you know, which was a shocker, too, like, to get called. I knew it was going to happen short notice. That's usually what happens to a debut guy, you know?
Which I always hated, because I feel like the short notice guy, like the debut guy, should not be short notice. Like, that's the case to not, because there's so much involved, there's nerves and all that stuff. And it sucks that your first, you know, your introduction, like, remember Max Holloway, short notice against Dustin Poirier, like, that's his introduction. It's hard to make that first impression the right way, especially on short notice. And more often than not, guys like you come in on super short notice against super tough guys.
Yeah.
You know, luckily you pass with flying colors, but I've always hated that thought process. I don't know why it is that way.
I don't know. I think maybe it's like them trying to test you to see, like, are you really ready? Like, are you staying ready for this? You know, is this your life? You know, because for me, it's my life. I don't know anything else but fighting, you know? And I was working hard, keeping my weight down. My managers kept telling me, and this was like for months and months. I was waiting like 7 months, you know, for this to happen. Yeah. And I hadn't taken a fight because in my head, I was like, I did enough. I spoke with my managers. They're like, listen, you know, trust in us. You did enough. We're going to get you in. They got their eye on you. Just wait it out. And I was like, all right, you know, I'm waiting it out, and there it was, you know, like I was doing a swim workout, and I was in the pool, and I see my brother, and that day he was like, I can't train. He's like my main training partner, my younger brother, Mac.
He fights too?
Yeah, he fights also.
Okay.
And he wasn't supposed to be at the gym, and I'm swimming back, and I see Mac, and I'm like, what's Mac doing here right now? Like, this is weird, you know, something's up. So he's like smiling, you know, and he's like, you got to get out. You got to call your manager.
Oh, man.
Like, oh, man. I'm like, my heart starts beating. I'm like, what's happening? And that's when I got the call, and they're like, Yuri, and I was like freaking out. Like, I just went back in the pool and just swam like 50 more laps.
Wow.
You know? Yeah.
That's amazing. I'm sure you'll never forget that.
No, I'll never forget. I was in the sauna like crying, like hoping no one walked in.
Wow.
Like, what is this guy doing, you know?
That's incredible.
Yeah, it was surreal.
And it's, I mean, what a journey you've had. 'Cause I was reading a little bit about it yesterday. You moved to Ithaca. You're from the New York area here. You moved to Ithaca to go train. And there was a time where you're at the gym. What was the gym called?
It was called Ultimate Athletics.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're sleeping at the gym.
Yeah.
Air mattress.
Yeah.
You're taking a shower where like the janitor supplies is?
Yeah, like there's like a little corner and like where the mop bucket goes, and that's like our shower. And like that's where we would go and shower. I was living like a poor life, you know what I mean? But up there, you know, fortunately I have a great family. They were helping me out, but it was just
Why didn't you get like an apartment or something?
I just didn't have the money at the time, you know. I was kind of like working my way up. I knew the gym was free to stay in, just had to pay the, you know, the coach, the management fee, whatever. And I was like, I'm going for my dream. I was working at Walmart at the time. I was doing security, and I just remember feeling so unhappy. And like my biggest fear in life was like to not be free, you know, to not live the life that I love, the life that I want to live. And fighting was it. That's all I wanted to do. I was a huge fan, and like it was my dream in my head. And I knew being an athlete my whole life, I was like, I could do this. Like, I know I could do this and be there, but I just got to put the time in and find the right team. So actually, two guys, Anthony Leone, who fights for ACB, and Kenny Foster, those two guys were like a pivotal, you know, pivotal people in my career, because like they were pushing me. They're like, you got to come out to Ithaca. We have a solid team. You got to come train with us and take it to the next level and go pro. Like, you're ready. And I listened to them, and I was like, I saw that they were doing really well. They were like 6-7-0, and I was like, I got to do it. Like, I got to follow these guys' footsteps and just see what happens. And I was there for like a year and a half, and it was rough, but I really became the fighter that I was, you know, through that process.
There was no point in all that where you're like, man, this is not worth it, or like this is not going to pay off?
No, there was. I actually moved into a college house. There was a bunch of college kids. I would say like 7 college kids living in this house. Like a dirty house. Kitchen had like bugs in it.
Oh, man.
Nasty, you know, lifestyle. But I was just like, I need a room. It's better than the blow-up bed in the back of the gym. It's freezing, you know. I'm like, I'm just gonna go and pay this cheap rent, you know, because it was divided by like 8 people. Okay. So I went there, and I was sleeping, and these college kids, you know, they're living a different life. Like, they're trying to be a professional athlete and be disciplined, and they're like partying up above me, like stomping on the floors, music loud. I'm sleeping my fights in like 3 days, and like that was like, I gotta get out of here. Like, I gotta go back home, you know. Like, that was too much.
Okay, so then you left the team that you came to Ithaca to join.
Yeah.
That must have been tough, no?
Yeah, that was tough. That was tough. But you know what it was, man? There's other things in life, like your personal life, your love life, things that you want to improve on that I was losing out on while I was up there. It was just riding my mountain bike to the gym, coming back, a house full of all dudes, you know, college kids, and then I had no social life really, and I was just like, you know what, I got to get back home, maybe get a job, you know, until I get in the UFC and try to, you know, make some better money, maybe get an apartment, move out, which still hasn't happened. Like, I still live home with my parents, but but I'm saving a lot of money, and you know, I got 2 bonuses this year, which was really helpful.
Huge.
And yeah, I'm trying to make that move next. But
wow. Okay, and why did you want to be a fighter? Like, why were you so invested in this dream?
Yeah, it's such a weird thing for me to think about, to be honest, because I was the kid that was like afraid of fighting. Like, every one of my friends will tell you, like, I was the guy that ran away, that didn't help them. You know, like, that was like, I was the guy where like when the friends got into like a brawl, or like there was a fight somewhere, I would like walk away. Wow. Yeah, and I was scared, and I was always like that. And like, but I had a fire in me, you know, since I was young. I just always had just a lot of passion, you know, to win. Whatever I played, I was like, I gotta win. Like, I just was like burning fire. Like, I remember I was playing soccer when I was a kid, and I got subbed out. And just for getting subbed out, like not being able to play, I would flip out. I would cry. I would hit the ground. Like, I wanted to play that bad, you know? And that kind of transitioned into fighting, like my desire to win, to be the best. And I rushed into fighting. I went to a gym.
But who introduced you to that? Like for going from a guy who, you know,
really just TV.
Just TV.
Yeah,
watching the UFC.
Watching UFC. Yeah.
Do you remember the first time you were exposed to it?
I remember the time frame. I remember watching Hughes and Chuck Liddell and those guys, and that was really like, all right, I like this, you know, like this is awesome. Like I want to, you know, I just needed a gym. Like this was before the Ithaca days, and I was like, I just need a gym, and I got to find an MMA gym. And it was really a timing thing. Like I was watching, I was thinking this, and then a gym opened up, and it was like months later, and I was like, oh shit, there's a gym down the road. Like it was like Extreme Couture, then it was like Varner's, you know, Jamie Varner's gym. It was like a chain with those guys.
Okay.
And I went there, and the coaches,
Long Island?
Yeah, it was on Long Island.
Okay.
It was right near my town, like a town over.
Okay.
I went there, and like the coaches there were like rushing us into a fight. Kind of like they were excited too to like start a team.
Yeah.
So they were like, yeah, you guys are ready. Like, let's go. We're going to put you in. Like, so I fought my first amateur fight with like 2 months of training.
Wow.
That was it. Like just being an athlete, you know, just getting in there, training, trying it out.
How'd it go?
2 months in, I won. It was like a TKO where I knocked the guy down in 3 times in 1 round.
Damn.
And that was at Mohegan Sun. Yeah, and that was like, it hooked me. You know, like just winning like that and the feeling, that was like what made me carry on.
Wow. What did your parents say about it?
My parents are like ultra supportive. Like they've been behind me the whole way. They've been to like every single one of my fights besides a few that they couldn't. But like my dad came to Brazil. He was the only one in the crowd. He was yelling, you know, he had like people surrounding him and like, you know, it's crazy. Like, but my parents have always been behind me, and I probably wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them. I mean, 30 years old, 31, it's like get out of the house. Like you gotta start doing something, you know? But I got a full-time job, and I was like trying to make ends meet, and I just wasn't happy. Like I was like, I can't live this life. Like my fear is to just work for someone, to have to be like a slave to a boss, you know?
Right.
So I was like, I gotta do it. I gotta go for it. You know, I gotta make my dream happen, or else I'm gonna be unhappy for the rest of my life, you know? And so I'm grateful I'm here.
So man, it's crazy that you're on TV, you're fighting these top guys, Renan Barao, but you still live at home.
Yeah.
And you're cool with that. And you're proud of it.
I mean, I'm cool with it, but I'm not cool with it. It's like I got my dogs barking in my face. Like my parents I love them to death, but they
Are you in the same room that you grew up in?
Oh yeah, I'm in the same room. Same room. Yeah.
Holy smokes.
I got my girlfriend, like, and she's really supportive too. And you know,
does she still live with her parents?
She still lives with her parents. She's younger, fortunately. She's 25, so like I kind of made that, you know, you're 25, so you're not going to push me until, you know, the 3-4 years. Because like like I had a girlfriend in the past that was really like bashing me for this, you know, for going for my dream.
Oh, really?
And, yeah.
She's not supportive?
Not supportive at all.
Wow.
Like I got to a point where like, because I'm one of those guys that'll like do anything for love, you know what I mean? Like
you're romantic.
Yeah, I'm a romantic. I'm like the softest fighter like you'll ever meet, pretty much. So I'm with this girl, and I'm just like getting stepped on and like talked down to, and you know, you need to get a serious full-time job or it's done, this and that. I'm giving you till like March. It was like, you know, the beginning of the year. I'm giving you a couple of months. If the UFC doesn't happen, then you got to do this. And I'm like, I got to get rid of this girl.
Yeah.
Like I'm either gonna, like, for love for this girl who doesn't even really care about me, is telling me don't do this. Thank God I got out of that, and now I have a girl who's like the most supportive person ever. I'm so thankful, you know, that I'm in this situation now.
When was that? When you dumped the other one?
That was like probably like maybe a year and a half ago.
That's not that long ago.
Oh no, not a year and a half. No, like 2 years. I would say. I'm like so bad with times.
Does she know you? Does she know that you're in the UFC?
I don't know. I have no clue.
Oh, you never heard from her?
No, never heard from her. You know, I
did kind of want to, you know.
I kind of hope she saw me on that festival. But
that's right. Yeah. Or at least heard that you're now, you know, doing well, fighting on, you know, big cards and things like that.
I wish the best to anybody. You know, as bad as a person could be to me, like I still wish the best. I don't really wish any harm. You know, I hope everything works out with the person. But you know, people have problems, and you know, that's it. And that's done, and I'm just happy that I got out of that. You know, I could have lived that life where I had a kid with someone who just wants your child support, like just leaves you in the dust, you know?
So how long do we plan to stay at home for? Like, do we have a timetable here, a 5-year plan, something like that?
You know, I like to just manifest good things, and like, you know, I try to finish fights, and I really foresee myself, you know, winning more bonuses, putting on big performances, and of course, Barao's the only thing on my mind, but from him forward, it's like, you know, more money. I just signed a new 4-fight deal with the UFC.
Congrats.
So I got a little bump, thanks. Yeah, and that was good. But you know us fighters, we always want more money. So, you know, if I beat Barao, I feel like it's one of those things where like, I'm fighting a guy who, of course, earned his pay, but he's getting paid a lot more to fight me. If I could take this guy out, like, I want to make a case. Like, all right, I'm going to fight the top 10 guys now and make a run. Let's bump it a little more and, you know, make it worth it. You know, make things, you know, fair here.
The debut was phenomenal. But then there was the slip up on Long Island.
Yeah, devastating.
How did you react?
It was crazy. Like it was weird because I never fought home. My whole career has never been legal in New York.
Of course, yeah.
You know, Jersey was close enough, but always booed, always the away guy.
Yeah.
And so when I was home, it was just really weird, the whole process, you know, because I go to the Coliseum, I'm driving there with my girlfriend, I'm like, this is weird, you know, and then I drive back home, I'm eating food in my kitchen, that felt weird. Then the morning of the fight, I'm like on my front lawn shadow boxing and, you know, just getting some sun. I'm like, this is like so different, you know, like this feels weird. But
you didn't do the whole hotel thing?
No, I didn't do the hotel thing.
In hindsight, do you regret that?
Not really, because deep down, I'm a guy who likes to be comfortable. You know, if I can, I'm going to choose the more comfortable situation. But maybe that is a fault of mine, because I go to Brazil, I go to Poland, and I do big things. I think there's something about traveling and being in an uncomfortable situation might bring out the best in me. I just don't, you know, no one likes to be uncomfortable. So I was on my front lawn. I felt weird, but I think maybe the pressure got to me that I was home, you know, that I had all my people watching me. I had people tailgating, you know, trying to, you know, so many people, the most people that's ever come see me fight. And I think I just felt that, like, as I was walking out, I was like, everyone's here. Everyone's here. I remember feeling that and thinking that. And I was like, man, why am I distracted on that? Like, I got to focus, you know? But hats off to Marlon, you know, he's a great jiu-jitsu guy. And, you know, I shot in a stupid takedown and he caught me in a beautiful submission, and that was that, so.
Wow. Would you rather next time not, like, if the opportunity comes to fight back in New York, will you say no? No,
I won't say no, because I love it here, and I think I want to actually redeem myself, you know? I think I just slipped up, and now I know in my head what I need to, you know, how I need to approach it mentally, and that's it, you know? Now, you know, I'm not going to say, like, where I was is why I lost, you know?
What was it like after, though? Facing the family?
Oh my God, I literally walked to the hotel, walked to my car, just drove home, and I was just texting. I was like, if I lose a fight, my life's over. Like, I'm devastated. So
you didn't see anyone?
I didn't want to see anybody. I told my girlfriend, like, meet me home, like, because she took her own car. It was separate, and I drove with my brother, and I was like, I got to get out of here. Like, I can't be around the arena, the people. Like, I can't face people.
You didn't stick around?
I lose. No.
You just went home?
No, I went home, and
How far do you live?
I watched a little. I live in Selden, so it was like 40 minutes.
Yeah, so you, by the time you got home, like, Chris Weidman's fighting, and you're on TV. You're watching on TV.
Yeah, I just watched on TV.
That is nuts.
Yeah.
How long did it take to get over it?
A couple weeks, you know. I'm a pretty sensitive guy.
Did you get depressed about it?
Yeah, a little depressed about it, a little down on myself. But realistically, like, the only solution for me is the next fight. Like, like, victory is the only way out. So it's like, it slowly fades. I'm feeling shitty. I get back in training. I start getting momentum with my training again. And then a call comes for Damien. And that's when I'm like, all right, new focus. Like, I'm ready to go. I got to redeem myself. And I went into that fight with, like, really mean intentions. You know, I was like, man, I shot in on Marlon Vera just because I thought in my head his wrestling was weak. But that was a mistake, because in retrospect, I'm like, I didn't have enough self-belief in my striking to just do what I was doing and keep going. I was successful on the feet for the short time. I felt fine. But I just rushed in on a shot, because in my head, I'm like, oh, I could take this guy down easy. I saw Brad Pickett take him down on the cage. I got this. But I shouldn't have done that. I should just believe in myself in all areas. And I took that into the Damien fight, where I was like, you know what? I'm getting in this guy's face. I have power, and I'm gonna make it happen. I'm gonna TKO this guy. I even talked to John Gooden before the fight, and, like, that was my prediction. I was like, I sense a late TKO, because he's really tough. He doesn't go away, but I'm gonna put it on him. Like, I'm gonna be in his face and put a lot of pressure on him.
And that's what you got.
That's what I got. Yeah,
third round, right?
Yeah, third round. Yeah.
What was Gdansk like?
It was interesting. It was like kind of colorful buildings, you know, different scenario, like different kind of buildings and architecture structure, but the people are kind of standoffish a little bit. I feel like kind of like Russia, like similar feel.
Like cold people?
Yeah, kind of cold, like stoic, you know, don't want to really engage. But the fans were surprisingly respectful. Like, even on my way out, they were clapping. And then after the fight, they were cheering me on. They were, like, really respectful people. It was nice.
You know, I remember the first time that I came across you was after the spinning back fist, because you were always like hitting me up. And it was, I still can't believe till this day that Dana was at, like the show was at your fight, and you nailed a finish like that, a spinning back fist KO, and they didn't sign you.
I know, it was like, it was.
And if you go back and look at your reaction, I feel like you thought that you were going to get it. Like you were just freaking out, right?
Yeah, I ran out of the cage. Like I knew that this was the moment, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, Dana's
Who were you
here.
fighting again? What was his name?
I was fighting, it was a replacement fight. Actually, funny thing was, it was Josh Robinson.
Okay, oh, yeah, there it is,
And
Josh
he was
Robinson.
From like, North Carolina, South
November
Carolina.
2015.
Yeah.
Yep.
Julio was supposed to fight him, Julio Arce. He got hurt. I stepped in, and I was like, I got to take this. Like, Dana's going to be there. I got to put on a show. I got to finish this guy. And the funny thing is, the fight was kind of like, it was going slow. Like I was just like making sure I was winning. Like I wasn't trying to finish the fight. I was like, all right, I'm better than this guy. I'm taking him down. Seems a little easy. I'm just gonna ground and pound him and like see what happens. And then third round when I came out, I was like, I can't do this. Like Dana's watching. Like I'm never getting signed if I don't perform right now, if I don't do something. So I threw this thing, the spinning back fist that I work all the time in the gym, this exact way that I set it up. And it lands perfect. And I'm like, I was surprised, I was like, I was in shock. I ran out, got in his face, and he even was saying so many good things like, I love that shit. This guy's got passion. He's in my face, beautiful knockout. I love it. And I was like, oh man, he's gonna sign me. It's gonna happen now. And it didn't happen then. I had to rematch Julio after that.
Were you devastated?
I was just like, you know what? I gotta do what I gotta do. I gotta fight again. I just gotta keep winning.
But like in your mind, I put so much time into this. I moved. I'm sleeping on the match, and like you. Like that's, I mean, like you can't pick a better finish, a more beautiful finish, clean in front of the boss who's there to sign talent, and they don't sign you. You don't start to rethink things like, what am I doing? Am I wasting my time? Is it ever going to happen?
I did. I rethink. I was rethinking this a lot. Like a couple times, doubt would creep in, and I would think about, take the firefighter test, do this, do that, and try to make ends meet a different way. And I just could never give up on my dream because, like I said before, it's like I can't live that life. It's just, I know that inside me, like I'm not meant for anything else but this. Anything else I do, it annoys me, it bothers me. I can't take it. So I've quit so many jobs, and I've done it in ways where I've just walked out.
Wow.
Like, cause I'm so unhappy, and I'm like, I'm done. Yeah, I know I'm done. I just leave. I don't even tell the boss. Like, I'm just like, I'm not doing this. I'm gonna be.
Like, what kind of jobs?
UFC. My last job was at a chemical company. It was like a manufacturing area with like kettles, and you would mix like batches of chemicals for like, it was like skincare products.
Wow. How do you get that?
Yeah, just random. My buddy worked for Cintas, which delivers like uniforms for everyone, and he delivered uniforms there and like hooked me up with the job.
Did you like it?
I just took it. No, I didn't like it at all. Me and my boss were pretty cool. Like he was a cool guy, and he knew I fought at this time, and I was so bitter towards the sport because I had been winning, like you said. I wasn't getting signed.
Yeah.
So I was getting bitter towards the sport, and I was so like mad, and I was taking it out in my fights, like, and I wasn't happy working. And it was really like a big reason why I was winning my fights, because mentally I was like, if I lose, this isn't happening. Yeah. So I can't lose. I just have to keep winning. And that's when I went on that winning streak. And that was a mental switch that I hit, that I was like, there's no losing. There's no selling myself short. Like I'm going in to finish every guy.
Were you dating that girl when the Dana White thing happened? And he didn't sign you?
I believe we were like shaky, like on and off.
Because I'm wondering if she ever played the whole like, look, he didn't sign you after this. Get a real job.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, really?
Yeah, after that,
that's brutal.
After that, it was still like someone doubting me. Like it's been this amount of time, it hasn't happened. When are you gonna give up? I want to do this. I want to start a family. I want to do, and I understand that. She was older too. Like she was 31 at the time.
Okay.
So she was like, she had sisters that had kids, and that pressure gets to you. Right. You want to start your life. And it just was like bad timing. But she had a lot of other issues with like, pills and Xanax and drinking, and that would alter her personality, and like stuff would just get out of hand, like it was just toxic.
Was Randy Brown the guy who got signed from that one?
Yeah, Randy Brown got signed. Yeah.
How did you feel? Like when did you start watching his fights and hope that he lose? Like, were you pissed at him?
Oh yeah, envy is such a shitty emotion to have, but I had that for so long for so many things. I just was like, man, what do I have to do? Like Randy was impressive, like he had a great fight, but like I'm like I just had some spectacular knockout, like 6 wins in a row. Matt Serra at the time, he was really tight with my coach, who was from Maxim BJJ, which was my last gym that I trained at. His name's Joe Monahan, who I'm very grateful for. He was like a second father to me, and he took me under his wing, and he was a really good guy, really good coach. But things fell through there. Now I'm at Long Island MMA with LaFleur and all those guys, which is has taken my game to another level. But Sorry, what was the question?
The question was, did you feel envious, as you said?
Oh, yeah. I saw Randy. I saw him get on, and I was just like, I don't know what's going on. Like, what else do I have to do, you know? And then, like, at that point, I had to come to grips with, like, just keep winning. Like, that's it. There's no other way
did you watch his debut, and you were like, this fucking...
Yeah,
really?
Yeah, I watched it, and I was just like, come on. I was like, let me in this thing.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm ready, you know? Like, I knew, I really believe in myself that I'm going to be the best. Like, I know I'm going to get up there. It's just a matter of time.
Did you, when everyone thinks of Long Island MMA, they always think of Sarah Longo. Did you ever go train there?
I've trained with Aljo, of course, you know, here and there. We've had, sparring sessions. Aljo was up in Ithaca at that time with me. Right. So was Jared Gordon.
That's right.
Who
was John Jones there?
John Jones was there right before me, and he left, and I didn't see him up there. But they had a staple of guys. Like, they had a crazy amount of guys. Like, they had this one guy, John Franchi. And I remember training with this kid and thinking, like, this is the scariest kid I've ever, engaged with in the training room. Like, he was just one of those guys who never took it easy. You know, like, when you went with him, you're like, I may get knocked out today. Like, here we go. You know, I was like so nervous. But I think those moments really helped me, because I was like, I got so nervous for spar days there, which I don't spar like that anymore because now I train a lot smarter.
Yeah.
But we would go hard up there, like the small gloves and just whatever happens.
No headgear, nothing?
No. You could wear headgear, but a lot of guys didn't. And it was like one of those things like, oh, he doesn't have headgear. I don't want to look like it.
So
I'm not going to wear it.
But now everyone is like way more cautious. I mean, you have to be smarter, right?
Yeah. I don't want this CT. I don't want that.
That's right. That's right. Are you worried about that stuff?
Oh, yeah. I think about it sometimes, but I think thinking about it kind of it'll mess around with your head a little bit. Like, going into fights, you don't want to be like, oh no, don't get hit, because you won't perform. I'm sure fighters have thought like that, like, oh man, I'm worried about my future, but you will not perform if you have that mindset. I just try to do the best I can to train smart and to fight smart,
So I have to. So like, you have the fight, the spinning back fist. You don't get picked, and then your crick does the thing. Yeah. There was no part, like, there was no like,
I was
ego.
Bring the ukulele.
I know. I wanted to ask. But I'm gonna get to that in a second. Yeah. But like, you didn't feel at all like, man, like, I'm a fighter. Why am I asking for tickets with this like schmucky guy? Who is this guy? Like, I'm gonna go out there, put a song. Like, you weren't embarrassed or anything like that. It was awesome that you did it. And I wish he would have picked you, because it would have been great for this show's history that he picked a fighter, a UFC fighter, a future UFC fighter. But why did you do that?
I was desperate to get my name out there, like, at any cost, And I was like, if I sit next to New York Rick, who knows who he knows?
Yeah,
and I'm like,
that was the thought process.
Yeah, and I'm gonna, talk to him about my life and my fighting, and maybe, someone walks by and they'll see me with you guys or whatever, and like, I was just like, I'm doing anything to get my name out there
amazing.
At this point, But I was a fan of the show, and of course, I loved watching
by any means necessary.
I was just like, I'm gonna, whatever I can, and I was like, I must be annoying the shit out of these people.
No, it was great. Did you see that episode when Aljo and John Vellante were in picking?
They
were talking about you.
Yeah.
They knew who you were. But they didn't like quite put you over. Like, were you pissed at them for not quite like?
Not really.
I know that guy. I've trained with that guy.
Yeah, I thought for a second like they could have pushed a little more.
Yeah.
Gian doesn't know me as well. Okay. I've come across him at Belmore Kickboxing.
That's right.
But like, he was just kind of like, whatever. Like, this guy wants to fight at this show. Like, he's nobody. Like, Aljo kind of put me out there a little bit. He said some good things to me later on too, to Brian Stan and guys like that. So, but I was like surprised, because he was just like, I think he struggles with weight, and
did he say that?
The weight cut? Yeah, he said that, whatever. Man. But that's true. Like, I did struggle with the weight cut a few times before the UFC, and that was like the talk. Like, maybe that's why you're not getting signed.
Okay.
So like, that lit a fire under my ass.
How did you figure it out?
I just made little changes. Pretty much, like, for me, it was like dieting for longer, like getting my walk around weight like solid 4 to 5 weeks out.
Okay.
Where I need it, which is like, right now I'll be like 150. 149. Like, I don't really walk really heavy at all, because now I'm like worried about that. So I'm like, I stay disciplined all year round. I'm the guy that like shows up at the Christmas party, like I pull an Irish goodbye and I'm out of there. Like, I go train. Yeah, like, I don't like doing anything else but this, really.
Speaking of Christmas, during Christmas, you're sending out tweets and stuff. You really wanted that fight.
I really wanted it. Yeah, I was ready to. I was like
Jimmy
153, and I was like, I could do it. Like, especially 140 if he's willing to take the catch weight.
Yeah.
And I saw on proposing with Marlon.
Sure.
And I had a feeling Marlon was baiting him, just like kind of toying with him a little bit. And I was like, it's not going to happen. Like, Marlon's probably huge right now. That guy looks big.
Yeah.
And he just won a fight, which is when we go nuts. You know, we just start eating everything for like a week or two. So I know how that works. And I'm like, he's not going to show up. But I'm like, you know, I got you know, we were talking, whatever. And then Rivera was telling me, he reached out to me personally, which I respected a lot. Yeah.
What'd he say?
He called me. He was like, listen, he's like, I really respect you stepping up. He's like, I didn't turn down that fight, but the UFC gave me, you know, a couple of people who I could choose out of, and that was that. And I was like, well, you know, I respect it. I appreciate it.
Was it ever close as far as
what? I'm gonna fight you.
In the future. Did he do that?
Yeah, he took
You're
this
kidding?
guy out. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I'm keeping it until I get him. Then I'm gonna put a gold tooth in.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
You don't want it, like, you like the way it looks? Or
I don't care.
It's
I
just
just
a reminder?
don't care. My teeth are crooked. I'm like, whatever, you know? Like, yeah, it's just memories to me.
Okay.
I don't really care about it.
It's not motivation or anything like that?
Yeah.
Does he know that?
He knows, yeah. I've joked around. I'm like, listen, I'm gonna get you back.
Did you get the sense it was close at all or not really?
I did because you really, like, I'm like, all right, this is serious. You know, I'm like, they reached out, his management reached out to you and like mentioned interest. So I'm like, that doesn't happen unless something's for real. So I'm like, okay. That's when I got butterflies at the gym and I just turned it up a notch and I'm like, I think this is gonna happen, you know? And like I said, I'm trying to like manifest this, like it's gonna happen. I'm getting the call soon, I'm gonna be heading to Vegas, no Christmas, I don't care. Like, and then it didn't happen, which was a bummer, but I understand the business, you know? For me, it was like a long shot. Number 3, fighting a non-ranked guy, like it doesn't make sense business-wise. But if they look at the past, we have history, maybe they would look into it. I think they like me, the UFC. I think offering me Barao is a good sign.
Huge sign. They don't put, like, I mean, this is, look, sometimes the UFC likes to make those fights where it's like the older guy against the up-and-coming guy. This is that fight, right? Like they're trying to make a new name off of the old guy.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's no knock on him. It's just the way combat sports works, right? But they don't always give the young guy those opportunities. Like they pick and choose who that young guy is. So I feel like that's a huge vote of confidence that they're giving you. So it took them a while to get on board, Sean Shelby and company, but I feel like now they're really on board. I mean, and is it on the main card, you know, or?
I don't know yet. You see with the website, it seems like they're behind with everything.
Yeah, they're very behind. You know? They don't even have a main event for that card.
They don't have the main event, and then what's it with Yoel is moved?
Like that was like almost the de facto main event, but now it's no longer even a fight on the card.
I think that might help me actually that happened. Who knows what they're gonna bump up, you know? But I would imagine with Barao's name, they wouldn't put me Fight Pass, but who knows? Because I'm a newer guy and he's on some losses, so it's like when it's like that, you don't have much say. You know. But I'm hoping for that FX or Fox, right? It's both.
I think it's Big Fox, and then maybe sometimes the prelims for cards like that are on Fox as well. I haven't really looked into it, or it could be FS1.
Yeah, but there is a Fight Pass either way,
there is a Fight
right?
Pass. You're not going to be on Fight Pass?
I don't think so.
And Barao?
No,
get out of here.
I think I would be FX or whatever the prelims are. I don't know if they would bump me main card, but
I feel like you might have a chance. It's not the deepest card of all time.
Not the deepest, that always helps me, so we'll see what happens. But.
Okay, so what about the singing? Because I go on your Twitter, I go on the Instagram, and you're just like, you're doing a little in sync, you're doing some like some pop stuff.
Yeah.
You fancy yourself a singer?
I've always loved singing, I mean, like, I like to write. Like, I write a lot of lyrics. I write my own stuff.
Love songs? What kind of songs were you writing?
Just anything, life, you know, just, I like to just get lyrical.
A little rapping too, I've seen.
Yeah, I like to use my brain, think of like cool ways to, you know, rhyme schemes and stuff like that. I like to rap, I like to sing. My dad sings, he plays guitar. I kind of grew up around music. My grandpa played trumpet, and he actually played with Jackson 5, like way back in the day.
Wow.
Before he passed, and he did some boxing too. So, like, I have like a very deep spiritual connection with him. So I feel like a lot of that came from him.
Okay.
But I love music. I write a lot. That's like what I do on my downtime. I'm like writing. I'll go on YouTube, listen to like some beats, write some stuff, and just record it, you know. And like I get reached out to by people, but like you have to put more time into it, you know. And like fighting is my life, but like I really would, I consider like meeting up with a producer and like try to work on some stuff. Like I've always thought about it.
What kind, like if you could make the Boom art album, like the Brian Kelleher album, is it a rap album, hip hop?
Yeah, it'd be like hip hop. It would be like singing, rapping mix. Together.
Who's some of your inspirations, your influences?
Well, Lil Wayne was like a guy that I listened to growing up all the time. I like Drake. I really like a lot of guys. Like new school, not as much. I kind of listen to more of the old school stuff, like Biggie, Tupac, those guys. But I'm like a mixed guy with music too. Like I could listen to like the softest girl song and like sing that in my car.
Yes,
like,
I've seen it on your Instagram.
I listen to anything. I listen to like smooth jazz, or I listen to like old school emo music I used to listen to. Like I just love music.
Can you give us some acapella here? Can you do?
I do that was coming.
Can you give it? Spit some bars for us.
You know what? Next time I'm on the show, I'm gonna have something for you.
You can't do it off the top of your head. A little in sync?
I could, but I wouldn't, like with the pressure, I don't know.
What pressure? You have to perform. That's what you do.
Sweet old Ariel.
You walk into a cage for a living in front of people wearing your underwear and no shoes.
I'll tell you what, it blows my mind that I do this because of who I am.
Yeah.
You know, in my heart.
You're a soft guy.
I'm a soft guy. I'm a nervous person. I don't know how I do this, but
I can't imagine.
At this point, it's the only thing that I'm like comfortable with. You know,
are you like super nervous backstage before the fights? Like, are you freaking out?
I know how to deal with it because of so many times doing it. For me, it takes a lot of consistency to find comfort. Okay. So like here, I'm like just as nervous as a fight, I'd say. Like it's pretty close. That like when I was back there waiting. Yeah.
That makes zero sense to me whatsoever.
That's just how I am.
Like I think fighters possess a gene in their body. There's something in you that I just don't possess. Because in a million years, like I would faint before walking into a cage. I just couldn't do it. There's just no way. Locking the door and it's me and another human being. I guess if someone said like, if you don't do this, you'll die, or something will happen to your family, I'll do it. But like just for fun, you know, for my career,
you gotta pretend like your mom.
You're just on a different level.
You don't fight. You don't save your mom.
Yeah, is that what you do?
Sometimes I do that when I'm training. I'll like pretend I'm running for that.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like just good visualization. You know, like, all right, it's gonna push me further. I can't let my mom die out there. I gotta go get it.
Have you always been one of those guys, like with you talked about manifestation?
Yeah, very psychological person. I actually have an interesting story about like my debut, which nobody knows this, and I didn't even tell the person who was involved. When I got on the plane, I had like crazy anxiety. Okay. And I don't know what from. Like I've been on planes before in the past and never had an issue. You know, I've flown to different places and comfortably, whatever. But it took over my mind, and I had got off the plane. And this was on my way to my debut to Brazil. Wow. And
UFC debut?
Yes.
Oh.
And I almost ruined my career over anxiety. Like I just didn't know how to do it. I was like, I don't know what's happening to me, but I'm freaking out right before I take off. Yeah. And I didn't know if I should tell this. Like I wasn't sure, but I was like, you know what, this is my story. Like I'm just gonna be honest. But like, I was on the plane and I was with my brother, my dad, whatever. And I was just like, I gotta get off. Like, I gotta get off. I was like, you know, my breathing was getting restricted. I was getting crazy anxiety. And it wasn't even like the fear of the fight. Like, cause I knew I wasn't afraid to fight, cause this is my dream. Like, I wanna fight. I didn't know what it was from. It was like really weird, you know, it came out of nowhere. And so the second time I got on happened again. And I was like, if I get off this plane, my career's done. Like UFC's, they're gonna be like, this guy can't even get here. Like, forget this guy. So my dream was like close to being ruined. Wow. And it was crazy because I'm walking off the plane again, and my brother's like, stop, you gotta stay on. This is your dream. What are you doing? I'm like, I'm freaking out. Like, I don't know what's happening. And there's John Morgan from Junkie. You know John Morgan,
of course,
right?
Of course.
And he was like an omen. And I never told him this story either, but he was an omen to me that day because I saw him, I was like, oh, I know that guy. Like, and it took my mind away from freaking out. And they moved my seat because the lady, I was talking to the flight attendant, telling her I'm having anxiety. Like, I think I might want to get off the plane. Like, please don't take off. Like, I might want to get off right now. And she's like, well, you got to let us know now. She's like, I'll do whatever I can for you. I'll move your seat. You want me to move the seat? My brother's trying to help me. And he's like, please, you know, can we move our seats to a more comfortable spot? Maybe up there. Maybe he'll feel better. So we're moving up to that seat. And it was right in front of John Morgan's seat. Wow. And because he was there, I saw him and struck up a conversation. It went away. And because of that, I stayed on the plane.
His presence saved your career. His presence,
yeah. And it was a really weird thing because I'm like a very spiritual guy. And when I got in the cage in Brazil, he was the first person I saw.
Oh my gosh.
The whole crowd's going nuts. I get in the cage and I just see John Morgan. That's it. right after that all happened. And it was just like, I belong here. Like, I'm going to win this fight. It was like such a weird.
You mentioned him on Twitter last night.
Yeah.
You saw him cage side. That's why you mentioned him.
Yeah.
So now he means something to you.
Yeah, he it's something special to me, which he didn't even know. So I have to tell him the story, but I've been, shy about telling it because I don't know, if people.
No, I think a lot of people would relate with it. I mean, I'm a very nervous person as well.
Yeah.
So you walked off twice?
I walked off twice, yeah.
And they didn't tell you like, hey, bud, we got to go? The plane people like.
Oh no, they did. They were like, listen, like they left. The first one left.
Oh, the plane left.
I never made the first one. Yes.
Get out of here.
Yes, I had to go back. I had to go back to the airport.
Where are you?
My mom was freaking out. She came back because she dropped me at the airport.
What airport is this?
This is JFK.
So JFK. That's the first flight out.
Yeah. My mom. It was the last flight. It was late at night. It was an overnight.
So you went back home?
Yeah, I went back home that night, devastated. Like, what am I doing?
Did the UFC know?
I had to let them know that I had a personal issue, And,
oh my gosh.
And I actually went into Brazil on a Wednesday, and they were kind of confused. They're like, "What? You're here Wednesday? Like usually Tuesday?
Yeah.
They fly the fighters out." So I just kind of like played it off. Like, I felt embarrassed. I didn't want to, tell people that's why. Because some people don't understand that.
Sure.
Like, what do you mean you freaked out? Like, what happened?
And your brother and dad, were they with you the first time?
They were with me, and they
left.
Were devastated. Yeah,
they
left with me.
What was that drive home like?
I took them off the plane. It was just like awkward, silence.
You thought it was done?
Sad. Yeah, I was crying. I was like,
had you ever experienced anything like that before?
I have experienced stuff like that, but with the marijuana, you know what I mean? And so I thought that was it. And I hadn't smoked in so long. I stopped for that reason, like anxiety, paranoia. And I'm like, I can't do this anymore. I don't want to, it's unpredictable, forget it. So I stopped, and then this was not related to that. So I was like, well, what is happening? Like, maybe this is a very intense, foreign situation. My first time traveling overseas, like for the biggest fight of my life. Like, I didn't know what it was, because I knew in my mind I had 100% belief I was going to beat Yuri and go there and take care of business. So it was a really weird thing, and it eventually went away, but it was just a crazy thing that I thought this could ruin the rest of my life, like the rest of my career.
And then the second flight next day, you walk off again.
No, I go to walk off.
Oh, and then that's when you see John. Wow.
And that's when I see Morgan.
God.
Yeah, and I stay on last second, literally walking off. And
that was going to be it. They weren't going to give you another flight.
That would have ruined my career.
Oh my God.
So that's why he's so special to me in that moment.
Wow. You got to tell him this. I mean, maybe now he'll find out.
Yeah, hopefully he hears this, but I would love to tell him, like after I see him.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
And then once you got to Brazil, were you like freaking out? Or were you calmed down at that point?
After I took off,
you were good.
I think it was the anticipation of taking off and leaving, and having, there's no turning around.
Back. Yeah.
So maybe it was that thought, and I just had to get through that. And once I took off, I was on YouTube watching, sweet old Ariel.
Yeah.
And I was good.
Wow, that is amazing. And that makes your win and that debut with those odds against you, you were a huge underdog, even more impressive.
Oh, yeah.
You didn't want to say the story back then,
I didn't want to say it, but inside I knew how special it was to have gone through it and got it done,
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well done, man.
It was crazy.
What a story.
That's Can't compare to Jared Gordon, but that's my story.
Jared Gordon has quite the story.
Yeah. After he was on here, I was like, what am I going to say?
Yeah. It's funny. He ended last week with like, people talk a lot about Matt Brown. He only overdosed twice. I overdosed 3 times. I'm like, how do you top that? And then you end with this. It's like, holy smokes.
It's funny too, because I remember back in Ithaca, like me and Jared, we would like smoke after practice or whatever. Like we were hanging out a little bit, and then like I never knew he went down that path.
Oh, you didn't know?
No, and then I heard about it, and I heard his full story on your show, and it was touching stuff. Like, man. Wow, man. Like that's why he's never gonna go away in a fight. You know what I mean? Like he's got so much heart in there. Like no one's taking that guy out. Yeah, it was really cool to see over the past week, like people saying like, I had no idea who you were. I didn't really care. I didn't have a thought on you one way or the other. And now I'm all in on you and your career. Because I feel like that's what the fight game is all about. Being emotionally invested in guys, picking your guys and then following them, you know? And so now I feel like people are, like that's a great story. I'm really happy you stayed on the plane. I know, me too, man. Like that's it. That's life-changing right there. Like that made the rest of it. And now I'm so happy because I overcame that and it's gone, and now I'm like, you didn't feel that when you went to Poland? No, I felt it a little bit before actually, but it wasn't the same. You know what I mean? It wasn't going to stop me, but as long as you fly with John Morgan, you're all good. Yeah. Just ask Get John Morgan on my flight and I'm out of here. I hope he's in Orlando as well. He'll be your guy, your good luck charm. Yeah. That's great stuff. I appreciate you coming by, Brian, really. It was surreal experience.
Long time coming, man.
Big fan. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, blame New York Rick. You know, he's the one who chooses who comes on the show. So he's the one who's kind of been giving you the old Heisman. But I said, no, Brian Kelleher has got to be on today. And I was so happy. I was so happy when you got that fight, the Barao fight. I was like, this is awesome. This is a guy who deserves it. It's a big opportunity. The UFC clearly believes in you. And I know you wanted that Jimmy Rivera fight, but this is better circumstances, right? You get more time to prepare, do it on your terms. Big platform, former champ. That's awesome stuff. Thank you so much for doing this.
I'm so excited, man. Thanks a lot.
Yes,
man.
Next time
I'm gonna take Fedor.
Yeah, that's right. I will beat you down. Fedor's okay, but although this is signed Fedor, I don't know if you saw this signed for.
You know what's funny? Like
Kimbo.
when she took that, when Tiffany took that, like I felt for you.
I was
like Ariel thinks she's joking.
Yeah.
She's leaving with
that.
I
totally thought she was just gonna like drop it off right over there.
Yeah, and I was like, she really took that shit. I was like, I hate that bully shit. I'm gonna get Tiffany.
But I got a signed one, so everything's good. And they gave me a Kimbo slice as well. But you owe me a song next time, all right? Because you totally
write a verse.
You totally you did a great job of dodging the song request with that story. So like now I can't put you on the spot. Yeah, I mean that's a good way. But like I want the song because I see it on your Instagram. Yeah, I love ukulele. It's my favorite instrument.
It's so nice. Yeah, but I gotta. You know what it is? I'm a freestyle guy. I just play like for fun. I don't read music.
Okay.
But I'm just like I pick things up quick. So like I know a few little tunes, but like I don't know a lot of like music. You know, like I can't play like 10 different songs on there. I just make stuff up. I have a djembe. Like I just love music. I just do it for
Next time
fun.
we'll get a whole little like orchestra for you
setup.
here.
We'll get a band in here.
That'll be great. You could be like, the Tonight Show, we have a band. It could be Brian Kelleher and the Booms or something.
The Boom Band.
The Boom Band. Perfect. Thank you, Brian.
Thanks,
I wish you the best, my man. Good luck. February 25th in Orlando, Florida. Looking forward to it.
Boom.
There he goes. Boom Kelleher.
Thanks, man.
In the house. What a story there to end things off.